You're good.
Hey, everybody.
How's it going?
Crack this beer and my new koozie, which is my lovely niece looking judgingly at me. Well, really looking judgingly at Graham while the curse, why am I taking this picture kind of look.
I mean,
That
my
happens a
niece
lot
is
to me.
so cute. That doesn't look like her much. But
And normally she has big old smile.
oh yeah,
It's like
that's a meme right there. And the fact that my sister gave that to you on a beer koozie,
brilliant.
that's quality trolling.
It's fucking brilliant.
Quality trolling.
Just fucking brilliant. I love it. I'm like, oh, that's my koozie for the show now.
That's fantastic. I don't know what sparked that from her, but I thought that was a great gift.
All right.
We got a few people checking out.
Excellent. Hello, everybody. We're going to get started here. You ready to rock and roll, Mel?
Yes, I already have Grandma Doodle Doo.
Yeah, it's up there. That's for damn sure.
I gotta change the caption of the photo I shared. I told him to look dangerous.
I already put it in the comments.
You already changed that? What did I say? Oh, mean.
You said mean, and I
Either way,
actually,
you're neither dangerous nor mean.
well, I do mean quite well. And the father of two. I do mean very well.
Yeah.
Dangerous, not so much
Not
anymore.
so much anymore.
Not so much anymore.
I don't think my glitter face is coming out on the camera, so.
For those of you who can't tell with Mel's glitter face, she's decided to be face fucked by the elf on the shelf.
Okay, that's not what happened. Maybe if I put the camera. No, I don't think it comes through at all. Yeah, I got a face full of glitter.
Mel's in love with the stripper.
You guys don't know what I do when I'm not here. I got a whole thing y'all don't need to know about. Don't worry about it.
All right, let's do a show.
Sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, showtime.
Hey, Dad.
This is Lindsay Williams, and you're listening to the Drunkard United show. Bless your little cotton socks.
No shit. We just did her show, and we managed to get through the whole show without saying fuck at
Yes.
all.
It was a good fucking time.
Or god damn it. Or, oh, we are going to say all the fucks.
It's a
All
great,
the
good
fucks.
fucking goddamn show. You should probably fucking goddamn listen to it, goddamn it.
Couldn't get
Bless
5
your little
seconds
cotton
in.
socks.
Fuck.
All the fucks.
Fuck.
Fuckity fuck fuck fuck. Let's start the show.
The fucking show.
In the land of Bowie, Maryland, bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show, a completely biased recap of the World Cup.
World Cup.
Because that's going on right now, because, as I like to say, Sam, fuck Qatar, Qatar, whoever you are, fuck you. As told by two common American schmucks. I'm your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, has got that happening. I just don't even know what to say anymore. It's like Rob's beard. Your hair has now become its own personality.
entity?
It's
Yeah.
like, oh, the hair's here, and it brought Sam with him.
It does what it wants. It does what it wants.
It would be a shame if one of your listeners started a Sam's Hair Twitter account.
Absolutely.
Don't,
My
please.
co-host, Mr. Samuel Graham. Sammy, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well. I would like to echo your sentiments of fuck Cutter, but I would also add to that Fox. I hate everything about their coverage all the time.
And then they managed to find the one bad thing at ESPN, Alexi Lawless, and bring him over.
They do it every year. It's terrible.
Oh,
God.
it does not matter where the world, like if the World Cup goes to NBC next, Lawless will be on the fucking
He'll
coverage.
figure out a way to weasel in there.
Why?
He's like the reverse El Chapo. El Chapo finds a way to weasel out of prison every time. Lawless finds his way to weasel into World Cup coverage.
Yeah,
He's like, he's very dumb.
Yeah.
We know that. He's the soccer equivalent of Bill Walton. Remember Bill Walton used to do NBA
Oh, yeah.
commentary? Shoot me.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Or Sonny Jurgensen. Sonny, all of them, as high as a kite the whole time.
Sunny there at the end, the facilities weren't exactly working.
Yeah, I know, but
we're recording at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out on all podcast platforms.
the less about that, the
Please
better.
be sure to rate, subscribe, review, and share with a footballing friend. Now, should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Absolutely. It's at DU Football Show on all the social medias and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
Love it. Well, I liked how we did it on Lindsay's show. I did it and threw it to you.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
That was pretty magnificent.
I'm sure Lindsay rolled her eyes a couple times.
I'm still impressed at how well behaved you boys were.
What the fuck do you mean?
That you weren't a cunt. I'm very impressed. Neither one of you was a cunt.
I even said at the end, I was like, oh my gosh, we got through the entire show without saying the F word or a GD, not once. And I almost said fuck when I said we got through the whole show without saying fuck.
Yeah. I don't think either one of you heard me, but as soon as I heard the recording has stopped, I went fucking A right.
Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Mr. Graham, little throwback to one of the older top 20 lists. What are we drinking tonight?
This is 2018, wasn't it, you said?
Yep, 2018.
Number like 13 or 14 on that list?
No, 20. It was.
Oh, it was dead last, much like Wales is. It's Penderyn. It's Penderyn. Single malt Welsh whiskey. It just says Celt at the bottom. Not sure why.
They have different marks
different
in the
versions
Celt.
of it. Okay,
Yeah.
Celt is this one. This is 86 proof. The nose is mild aromas of peat smoke early morning at the rocky seaside. I got sandy seaside personally. And warm marmalade on toast all compete for our attention. The palate begins with a sweetness before the smoky flavors descend. Slight bitterness follows that leaves a long and lingering fresh taste. There it goes. I actually don't really agree with a lot of that personally.
Yeah, for me, it's much more. This drink's kind of like a, I would say a Macallan Fine Oak.
Yeah. I was just about to say the peat is much more present on the nose than it is the taste, and it's really not even that present on the nose.
Yeah, and it's light in color, which tells you it's definitely ex-bourbon. Because if it was sherry, it'd be much deeper red. And it's not even a hogshead because it would still have some deepness and color to it. But you know what?
I don't really get much peat at all.
I get more smoke than I get peat.
It's interesting.
Yeah. It's a fun little whiskey. And
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
I get why it made the list, especially because as we talk about with that list, there's always an odd international. The one I'm trying to find, it's called, I want to say it's Stella Norte or something like that. There was a Mexican whiskey that made the top 20, the very first list. And I definitely want to find that bottle because it's just one I want to try, honestly. But, I mean, from 2 years ago, that Milk and Honey, I was impressed as hell
big time.
by that whiskey was fantastic.
Big time.
The Adamans was all right.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't great. It wasn't bad. I mean, I'm glad we finally found a bottle of it, but it didn't really overly impress me. I would say the Swedish single malt we had off this last list was very good. I don't know if it was deserving of top 10 status,
Right.
but it was really good.
This actually, you know what I think best describes this? This is a kind of a weird in between an Irish single malt and a Speyside single malt.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
There's not a tremendous depth of flavor like you would kind of get from an Irish single malt, but a lot of that floral kind of lemon rind, like bitterness, stands through like you would in a Speyside.
Yeah, I would definitely go along with the thought process of a Irish single malt. It definitely has those qualities to it. Like I said, for me, it tastes like a Macallan 10 Fine Oak.
Yeah.
It really does have that kind of that flavor profile to it as a whole.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you. Just remember to drink responsibly, everybody.
I love it. Let's have ourselves one hell of a show, Mr. Graham.
Let's do our best.
How about that?
Let's do our fucking best.
I remember to toast you this time.
Good.
Lovely. All right, the World Cup is in full swing, and let's face it, we're going to talk about one thing, USA and England. Those are the two things we're going to talk about. And they also faced each other. I said one thing.
there, Paul Scholes.
One thing, but two things, yes. We're going to talk about two things. Those two things are the USA and England. And they got to face each other. And that's the one thing we're going to start with. Time to discuss the match and a little bit about Group B. USA 0, England 0. USA 1, Wales 1. England 6, Iran 2.
Did I bring that up on this show, that Paul Scholes thing? I don't remember if I did or not.
I don't recall if you did either.
But about a week or two before the World Cup
that was
started.
Michael Owen.
No, it was Paul Scholes. Was on somebody's coverage of the Premier League in England, and they were talking about Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
This is a few weeks before the World Cup started, and made the statement he's a one-trick pony, comma, described two things he was good at.
Yeah, I'm positive.
I think I said
Michael
that
Owen.
on here. No, I think it was Paul
Michael
Scholes.
Owen, okay,
I'm pretty
But
sure
fair
it was Paul
enough,
Scholes.
But I know the article.
Michael
you're
Owen
talking
says
about.
equally dumb shit.
Fair enough.
But-
Very quickly before we even really break down England USA, USA Wales. USA comes out, looks impressive, should have won the game. Unfortunately, allows one fucking mistake, and they end up with 1 point that really should have been 3.
Well, they didn't even allow a mistake. They made a mistake, period. It wasn't, I tracked the wrong run. We recovered. It was a bad touch on a player facing away from goal.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no reason to dive in at all.
And it was
nothing.
the, quote, level-headed center back.
Yeah, one of the more experienced
Zimmerman's
guys in
been
the team.
one who's been playing a lot.
And he's been around the team for a bit now. I think he's 26, 27 years old.
Yeah.
It's
Of the
stupid.
third youngest team in the World Cup, he is one of
It's
the
one of the
older
experienced
players.
heads. Yeah. It's just ridiculous. I mean, there's absolutely no need to take to make that tackle. Stupid.
Yeah.
We should have won that game. Now, that being said, we did have 4 or 5 chances. I think we struck the woodwork. We kicked it right at Wayne Hennessy.
Yeah.
Wayne Hennessy a few times. And he made a couple of okay saves. They were pretty straightforward saves. But
Firehawk, by the way, put up a fire fucking post on the Drunkard United post group. Obviously, Qatar has Qatar. Sorry, fuck them both. Either way you want to pronounce it, put the word "fuck" in front of it, and you've pronounced it correctly. But obviously, Qatar didn't want.
that's pretty good.
Qatar didn't want any alcohol in the World Cup, so clearly they sent off Hennessy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Jesus Christ.
I was like, brilliant.
Christian is watching along tonight, and he has, 2 observations. One, how long until one of the Sams pulls a CR7 and takes credit for someone else's work? Clearly, he knows you two very well.
Yes, of course.
But mention something that I think you guys are going to touch on is the British press calling the match a bore.
Oh, it was that match, which we'll get to in a moment. The reason why they called it a bore is because it didn't go the way they thought it would.
Well, also, they were quite boring.
Yeah, they were.
Period.
They weren't.
I mean,
good.
England was quite boring. It wasn't. Well, can you really come out any differently after winning 6-2 in your first game?
Yeah, well,
be
and
honest.
let's get to that. I mean, that is, you want to talk about a way to open the World Cup, and it was okay. So the first goal was a wonder goal from Iran. And the Iran, sorry, make sure I pronounce that correctly, because remember our captain got chastised recently by today, in fact, by a member of the press from Iran for pronouncing it incorrectly, and then also promptly asked him, "How do you feel about living in a country where you're a lesser citizen because you're black, because of Black Lives Matter and things like that?" Which was honestly just
He's trying to get a soundbite.
He's fucking being a troll, which is
He's trying to get a soundbite, trying to make himself famous.
Which, if you have a chance to watch it all, Tyler Adams handles it fucking brilliant.
Does it?
I mean,
I got to look at it.
right off the jump, the first thing he's like,
I didn't even hear that.
He's like, well, one of the things we have to do as a culture is learn, and I just learned that I've been mispronouncing your country's name, and I'm terribly sorry about that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then he just goes on.
Just take
with
your
it.
dick out, put it on the table, mate. Well done.
And then he just keeps going on, and it's brilliantly answered. But anyways, and then the second one's a penalty in stoppage time, right? So you look at those 2 goals from Iran, and you're like, that's like
One was a pretty well worked counterattack.
I mean, but it was a gorgeous hit.
Oh, it was
too.
a great shot. Yeah. And he hit it too early. I didn't expect him to hit it.
I mean, even longer arms were not going to help Pickford on that one.
Maybe if he was Stretch Armstrong, it might have
Yeah,
helped.
exactly.
But yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, that first game, and England has, I mean, the no-look cross from Harry Kane for Sterling's opening goal was brilliant. Bukayo Saka, obviously.
4 different goal scorers. I mean, it could not ask for better.
Right, absolutely. Exactly right. So, and what a great start. And I think that kind of informed England's decision to play how they played in the game against us, was they didn't need the points on the board.
Right.
They needed to not lose. That's it.
That is exactly how
Draw
I was gonna,
or win.
Let's go ahead and talk about that match particularly. And you just said that you stole the exact words I was going to use. Is for England, the key thing was to not lose that match. And I think you could clearly see in the way that Southgate handled his subs, even though he was criticized for it, I tend to think was pretty fucking smart, because what was happening, very simply put, is the midfield of McKennie, Adams, and Musa was bossing the English midfield.
Yep.
And while England may have had more possession, that was basically a lot of passes between a defensive midfielder with Rice and the center backs for England. That's a lot, and it was all in that kind of right near midfield range. There was not
a lot of penetration in the box. There wasn't. I mean, it's Qatar. It's really a lot of penetration. They can get arrested for that.
Sam, you mispronounced. You mispronounced that. That is fuck Qatar. That's how you pronounce it.
That's right. Definitely ain't cut her up. That's for sure. What else can we do?
Fuck cut her up.
I'm sure there's more puns in there somewhere. Just not any pints. If you really look at it, I think the U.S. kind of dominated the chance creation over the 90 minutes as a whole, but I don't think England really wanted to or needed to move forward. If they lost that game to us, massive questions would have been asked about the group as a whole.
Yes.
So a very conservative approach from an already conservative manager. I don't think it's really a surprise, and I don't think anybody should really blame him for that. Now, the English press has had a field day with it. To be fair, ours has had a field day with it also.
Right.
The meme floating around was all-time record against England was draw in 1930 or whatever it was.
Well, it was
beat him in 1950. No SEC championships for England.
No Super Bowls. Drew us in
2014 or 2010. Yeah,
2010. Drew us in 2022. Other ones I've seen is lost the Revolutionary War. Drew the Battle of 1812.
And then at the bottom it said it's officially called soccer. It's like, the fuck? It's just funny.
But
stupid.
But also with Southgate,
so fucking stupid.
I think there's a lot of criticism to it, but you made a very good point. What was his first sub and why?
It was Jordan Henderson. And it's because the U.S. were bossing the midfield. I mean, you got the very busy duo at Leeds.
Right.
And then you add into that Weston McKennie.
Yeah.
Who is very
Musa
busy.
Musa isn't Leeds. Musa is Valencia.
I thought Tyler Adams was in there, though.
Tyler Adams is Leeds. Musa is Valencia.
Oh, did Aronson not start that game?
He subbed in for McKennie.
Okay, I'm sorry.
McKinney's coming off of an injury.
I'm sorry. I gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. I thought Aronson started that game.
Aronson, both matches, subbed in for McKinney.
Okay, I
around
apologize.
the 60 to 65th minute.
Because in my head, it was Aronson and Adams.
Right. Fair enough.
But anyway, you've got very busy, tenacious, energetic midfielders in there.
By the way, how nice is that for the United States, too? Your midfield sub off the bench is Aronson, who's starting at Leeds and producing at Leeds.
Yeah, and causing problems in the Premier League for opposition.
When has this team ever had a bench going into a World Cup?
I'll tell you when it wasn't was when Alexi Lalas was the first modern player to play overseas.
Yeah.
That gets fucking old. I hate that. And I also can't stand the way there's two announcers, both American, on Fox, the way they say World Cup. And it's like, fuck, just say World. World Cup. Just say World Cup.
Oh, your
World Cup.
By the way, your boy Mark hates Stuart Holden, which makes me love Stuart Holden even more. He's like, well,
my boy Mark. It's our boy Mark.
He's like, well, isn't he fucking biased? I'm like, yeah, of course
he's American.
He's fucking American. Go listen to the BBC, bitch, if you want to fucking hear like some biased English fucking coverage.
Whoa, Squirrely Dan, take it down a notch. Go listen to the BBC, bitch. I mean, come on, it's a friend of ours.
I mean,
It also sounded like the intro to a weird porn featuring a small white lady.
I mean, other than
Go
the
listen
word,
to the
other than
BBC,
word,
bitch.
Other than the word bitch, that would be problematic. I think go listen to this BBC, bitch. Be a great title.
Probably be down the charts on searching, though, is the
Yes,
issue.
It would be.
Fucking
Oh my
fucking
God.
algorithms.
But anywho, you're right. It was Henderson came in and.
But what a conservative, the point is what a conservative substitution that is, right? You're not advancing your play in any way, shape, or form by bringing on Jordan Henderson.
But again,
It's like Liverpool bringing on James Milner. It's like we need Steady Eddie to calm down and take control of the game.
But again, the point of that match, and I hate to be, as a fan of the USA, to be defending England, but let's face it, we're going to support England as they advance throughout the
Absolutely,
Cup,
we will.
Because it's what we watch.
It's the
week in and
players we watch week
right.
in, week out. Yep.
But that is, I thought the manager managed a very good game. I think his players didn't really fucking produce.
Yep.
I don't think that's on the manager if the players aren't producing.
No. But, I mean, the system they set up in did not lend itself to an attacking style of play, but rarely does it with England. That's the thing. The 6-2 against Iran was a one-off. That is not how England play.
Well, they beat the crap out of Tunisia in the last World Cup.
Well, right, but again, it's a subpar team. Iran, in this instance, had everything going on at home. And this is, I can't stress this enough, and good on this group of players for Iran. The FAs from 10 different nations said they were going to wear One Love armbands with rainbows on them in stance with the LGBTQ plus community against Qatar's stance on those communities. And not even stance, but actions against those communities. And every one of them backed down because FIFA threatened them with sanctions, which isn't even in the rules to do. So, I don't know. Anyway.
Which they could have all easily have just done it and gone, we dare you.
Well, a couple of players like, I'll pay the fine. If they find me, I'll pay the fine. Don't care. But they weren't able to. But FIFA said, we're going to have the captains booked if they're wearing the armband.
Booked immediately.
Yeah.
Like the start of the game, they start the match with a yellow.
Well, share the armband around. But also, there is no recourse in the rules for that to happen. It's an empty threat by FIFA that everybody went, oh, great, we don't have to do it now.
Right.
So if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Right.
And they chose not to do it. The Iranian players, with what's going on in their country, not a single one of them mouthed a single word to their national anthem.
Ooh, but then they got in trouble.
In the first game.
I know. They did. But if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for nothing. And fucking good on these players for standing up for what they believed in. Knowing that they're going to get in trouble, knowing they're going to get blasted in their own press, knowing that they may not be able to return home
And they got,
and keep all of their limbs.
The story, have we proven that this is...
You can't prove anything.
Okay. So this is what has been alleged, is that in the second match, they were all singing the national anthem because they were basically told, well, you're there, and we can't do anything about that.
But wait till you come home. Exactly.
No. Better.
Your families are home.
We know where your families are.
Oh, great. So, right.
So
but
you
we all
better
know
be
what
singing
happened.
that shit proudly.
We all know what happened to that 23-year-old woman in that country that died in
Mm-hmm.
police custody and everything else. The moral police custody, by the way. And they have taken a hard stance on it. They were ones they wanted to wear. I think in their friendly prior to, they covered up the badge on their shirt altogether. So the Iranian FA's logo wasn't visible while they were playing. And good on them for doing it. That's amazing. You go from that emotion and that stance and that kind of panic exactly of what's going to happen at home when we do this, right? You can stand up for everything you believe in, and that's wonderful. You damn sure most people that do have the consequences in the back of their mind still.
Yeah,
And you're playing against the group favorites in England when that happens.
and we also
And
live-
England capitalized. And also, it helps when you put a cross in and their defender headbutts their starting goalkeeper, one of 4 that was brought by Carlos Queiroz, by the way, one of the most conservative coaches that have ever coached ever.
Gotta have 4 goalies because
4 fucking goalkeepers. And, well, the first guy gets a concussion and a broken nose because his own defender headbutts him in the face 6 minutes into the game or whatever it was. So you have all of these things surrounding that. No surprise, 6-2, right? But you absolutely cannot take that out of context of what England are as a whole over the last 2 tournaments in the last 3 years, 4 years. And that is a conservative team that has the ability to probably rip people open, but their manager won't allow them to do it.
All right, so
Does that make sense? That was
Yes.
it was a long
Yes,
way
it
to get
does.
there.
Yes.
But you had a lot surrounding the Iranians in that first game.
Here we
And
go.
yeah, no,
Christian, oh, thank you. He's like, I'm sorry for commenting. Christian, please never apologize for commenting. And by the way, we're all super glad you're here to comment. He had
Yeah, hey,
surgery
by the way,
this week.
you,
He
Christian,
had a big surgery this week.
you, good fucking job.
He sent me
was
the
very
the
confused
story.
on what you were doing.
Iran threatens to torture player's family ahead of the U.S. men's report.
Nice.
That has been confirmed. And then, can I go on a little tangent?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Can we talk about what's fucking political and what's not fucking political? Because I am so sick and tired of the keyboard warriors and all the people saying we need to respect our country's traditions and stuff when we go to visit them. Let's keep the politics out of football. Fuck you. 2 consenting adults loving one another and committing their lives together is not political. That is a human rights situation. And no, we should not respect any country who makes consensual love between 2 adults a fine, punishable in prison or by death. Looking at you, Russia, this week, even promoting it against the law, and definitely looking at Qatar and everybody kowtowing to them, say you don't go to another country and disrespect their rules.
Here's
What
the.
if
You want the
it was
difference?
illegal?
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Mel,
Yes.
you mispronounced it. It's fuck cutter.
Fuck Qatar. Thank you.
I have an answer to that.
Okay.
Actually, so the when in Rome, right, is the old saying.
Uh-huh.
And I don't really have an issue with that if I was the one that chose to go there.
Yeah.
You invited us.
Right. Well, there's that. There's
That's
which is a whole nother
that's
thing
the
of
part.
bullshit.
Like, I mean, we don't have the ability
What?
to make the rules for what people do in their own borders.
Seriously, what if
And
it
the
was
FIFA fucking president
illegal?
being indignant and telling
Correct.
us.
No, absolutely. But here's the difference.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Guess why I've never been to Russia? Guess why I've never been to Qatar? Because I don't support that
No.
shit, so I don't go spend my money
it
there.
still shouldn't be tolerated? What
The
if?
rest of the world should not be spending their money there.
What
Right.
if an
That's the thing.
interracial marriage was considered illegal and anybody in an interracial marriage was not allowed to touch or associate with their spouse in Qatar because it was illegal?
Then I wouldn't be there. I wouldn't spend my money there. I would have a problem with it because they applied to have us come there,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's the thing. That's where I have that difference. I can't tell them what they can do in their country.
Yeah.
If that's what they want to do in their country, fine. I choose not to support you by not spending money there, not allowing you to host events, not allowing you to do these things. But if you invite the world here,
Yep.
you're opening yourself up to that shit, and all of the eyes of the world are going to be on it, and you're going to face pressure to change your archaic ways.
I think I can
That's how it's supposed to work.
I think I could speak for you as well, Graham, to say that easily a bucket list item in our life, in our sports world life, right? Like, I got to see all 3 legs of a Triple Crown in a single year. That was fucking cool, right? Like, I've seen a World Series game. That's fucking cool. But one of the things I want to see is I want to see my country play in a World Cup on foreign soil.
Yep.
Not because I'll be able to see them if I really want to in America. That's great. I could go do that. But I want to see my country play on a foreign country. And when the last 2 World Cups got picked, I was like, well, I'm not going to fucking Russia. I'm sure as hell not going to fucking Qatar. Or as I would like to say,
Carter.
fuck Qatar. Fuck Qatar.
That's pretty good. But that's just on a long list
Nice.
of shit that is wrong with this World Cup. which is part of the reason that they shouldn't have been given the rights to host it.
I'm not even addressing them. I'm addressing the fuckers on social media and in the commentary saying we need to respect their culture. No. Disavowing consensual love is not a cultural thing. That's a bigoted thing, and that's a human rights violation. That is not your culture. That is you being a dick. Now, what is political in football?
Are we about to talk about that country?
The U.S. social media changing the Iranian flag, removing the God thing they put on in 1978.
But no. The rumor on that is that it was Photoshop because every other thing that the U.S. men's team has put out, as far as the U.S. men's national team on Twitter, has the logo in the flag.
The other thing I'd say to
They still thought the United States should be kicked out for that violation.
the other thing that is kind of supposed to be foreign to us here, and it's written into our Constitution, but it's also a new thing in terms of the way of the world. Is religion being separated from the state.
Right.
You have to remember, especially in the Middle East, religion is very much tied into the state.
The state is religion.
And that is not something that culturally we understand, because we are so vehemently against that.
Are we?
Yes.
Are we? We are.
Well, we're supposed to be. Right. It's written. Right. We're supposed to be.
We are.
Do you understand what I also
different show.
Mel, I also caveated that before I said the sentence. But that's so what I'm saying is if they want to do that in their country, that is their fucking prerogative. The way you hurt them and get them to change their ways is you don't buy advertising. You hit them in their pockets. You don't buy their oil. You don't support them. You don't award them a fucking World Cup.
Right. Exactly.
That's the point. Right? That's how you get the...
Yeah.
Oh, really? Look at your human rights violations. Look at the kafala system. Look at your LGBTQ plus violations. Look at all of this shit. I don't care how much money's in that fucking envelope, you cunt. You're not getting a World Cup until you change your ways. But they didn't do that. And that's FIFA's fucking responsibility. Qatar's allowed to do what the fuck they want to do. I won't patronize that country, and neither should our country.
Hey,
neither should England.
Hey,
neither
Sam.
should the Netherlands. Neither should anybody fucking else.
Yeah.
Sam, I just want to remind you, you mispronounced it. It's fuck Qatar.
It's just it's ridiculous. So you put pressure on them, sanctions, you do all the things that you do to everybody fucking else when they don't do what you want them to do, and you get them to change their fucking ways, or they don't get to do it.
No, instead, we're going to kowtow and say, oh, look, rainbows are suddenly toxic.
All right, kids, hold on.
But by the way, there's also the other piece to that. Only the Welsh women fans were taking the rainbow bucket hats off. The men were allowed to do what they wanted. And as one...
a lot of men were able to sneak in some rainbow stuff into the stadium. The women weren't, the men
you
were.
all are getting way ahead of it.
All
there
right,
was some
sorry.
stuff that happened today that I want to get to. There's also some stuff that FIFA did also to another country where they held this is politically incorrect, but this is not politically incorrect that we need to get to as well. We're going to get to all of that. We're going to get to all of that. But also, at the end of the day, this is a World Cup show, and we got to get back to talking World Cup. And I want to wrap up this segment by the following, is that what it comes down to now is because England, and we got away from it, and we don't need to go back to it, but England are in a situation where basically all they got to do is get a draw, and they're in. But, and for USA on Tuesday, which will be tomorrow when the show's put out, it'll be today that you're playing, that they're playing. We're talking about USA. All they got to do is win and they're in. But here's the thing: for Iran, all you got to do is draw. And while England beat them 6-2 in their last 7 matches leading up to the World Cup, whole bunch of 1-0 wins. If there's a team who knows how to pack it in and not let you get in and score a goal, it's Iran. And we like to think, oh, it's just Iran, whatever. Well, you don't think for a second, despite all of their political turmoil going right now, they don't want to fuck the U.S.? You don't think that for a fucking second?
This is going to be fun for them.
We think it's a walk in the park because we have our normal American ego. We are going to have our hands fucking full at 2:00.
Yep.
It's going to be fun to watch. I'm really looking forward to it.
It's It's going to be a big one. That is for damn sure.
I know you get annoyed when I do this because we normally don't pimp podcasts that we're not associated with or that are run by friends of ours. But the Football Ramble did a 3-part expose, and the final episode had an interview with Qatar's first openly gay man who now lives here because he had to seek asylum. Just so you know.
Sam, I'd like to correct you. You pronounced that wrong. It's fuck guitar.
But I like the guitar.
You could strum it. Let's quickly break down groups A, C, and D. In Group A, fuck Qatar is officially eliminated. But I need them to do worse. I want them to get demolished. I want Holland to do what Holland does and get literal on their ass. I want them to beat them like 8-9-0.
What do you mean you know like get fucked in the ass? You got fucked in the ass twice already this tournament.
Now we show you how real footballers fucking ass. Like,
Sorry, that is the show title. Get literal on their ass.
First you eat this brownie, you get naked, then you get fucked in the ass. That's how this works.
fucking from a couple weeks back we did the with Steve Walsh. We did the
fuck it.
World Cup.
Rainbow Unicorn, who cares? You just get fucked in the ass and that's fine. You go home.
We did the World Cup trivia night with Steve Walsh at the Guinness Brewery.
Yes.
It was fucking amazing night. There was one question where he said, "Who invented total football?" And I had no idea, right? Now I know you knew already, but this is exactly how I explained it to the table. I went, "It has to be Dutch," and they all go, "Why?" I goes like, "Total football." The Dutch are the most literal people in the
100%.
world. This sounds so Dutch. It has to be Dutch.
Yes.
And I cheered like a sumbitch when he said it was the Dutch. And you were like, "Yeah, I knew that." I was like, I didn't. I just did thoughtful deduction and went, "Gotta be Dutch."
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was the whole Ajax, kind of Cruyffian era of
Yeah.
play. With
When they would make
total
it to, when
football.
they would make it to finals and lose.
Yeah.
Because they did that like most of the 70s.
Exactly. I mean, just think about the Dutch and what they do. They're so. Ronald Koeman, who used to manage Everton, of course, and Louis van Gaal, who used to manage Manchester United, now manages the Dutch national team, also overcame cancer. It's this is his swan song, and I really actually want him to do well, and I want him to last as long as he can in the tournament because I want to continue to hear stories about him. Did you hear pre-tournament? As I don't know if it came out before we did our preview show because we pre-recorded that.
Yeah.
Pre-tournament, he phoned all of the members of the team that were kind of on the fringes, video chat, mind you, to tell them that they weren't included in the 23-man squad. And then in the press conference, congratulating himself essentially for doing that, he said a lot of them were in their pants or they were naked.
So fucking tough.
He said something along the lines back in the day about him having a home on the Algarve in Portugal, the beautiful kind of sun kissed coast of Portugal, and it's something to the effect of I used to love going to my home in the Algarve, and I'd walk around naked, and it was a great time, and we had wonderful place. I loved it, and then fucking Koeman bought a house right next to mine. Ronald Koeman hates him so much, but knows he gets under his skin. He bought a house on the same street as Louis van Gaal in the fucking Algarve. That's the Dutch, bitch. Okay? It's a very bitch-laden episode, but it's not the derogatory bitch, much like not a derogatory cunt. It's just a word that describes, got one over on you, motherfucker.
It needs to be explained. If there is a literal people, Dutch.
In case you didn't know about the little history lesson there.
So, what I truly hope for in my heart of hearts is that fuck Qatar goes out as the
5, 6, 7-0, 8-0 losers.
I want them to be the worst team, not just the worst host nation, because they are the fastest host nation to be eliminated. Because even South Africa stuck around till the third fucking fixture. I want them to be the worst host nation and the worst club. I want them to be Derby County.
Well, they've already been one of the worst because
I want
the
them to
host
be
nation
Derby
has
County.
never lost the opening game of the World Cup. Opening gay game of the World Cup. They
Right,
never lost.
because South
South Africa drew. Yep.
Both their matches, a lot of empty seats in those stadiums.
in the second half because the men displeased got up and walked out.
Well, that's another piece of that podcast that they kind of portrayed by talking to people on the ground in Qatar. All their lives are being
Sam, you mispronounced it again.
all their lives are being so tremendously uprooted right now. Like they canceled school this month
Yeah,
to keep traffic off the streets to be able to cart fans around
right.
because they couldn't build their infrastructure enough to support an extra 1.5 million people at one time because they shouldn't have been awarded the World Cup in the first place.
They built a city to support a singular stadium.
Is it Qatar's
Built an entire fucking city.
right? And this is, Mel, this is, I think, where my separation is with surrounding the World Cup itself is Qatar has these problems and issues, and I have a problem with that.
I have a problem with the fact that you continue to mispronounce their name.
But the awarding of the tournament, the reason we're here, the reason we're doing this, is FIFA has control over that. And they didn't exude that control. They didn't do what they were supposed to do as the stewards of the game.
Yeah.
Not a surprise. They're one of the most corrupt organizations on the face of the planet.
All right, so how do we get rid of FIFA?
We can't. I trust the Catholic Church more than I trusted FIFA with this responsibility, to be honest with you.
Wow.
That's a bold statement right there.
I am a Catholic as well.
That's a bold statement, Cotton.
Whoa. Check out more on DUFC The Ocho. This
Going in soft, Cotton. That's an inside joke.
Qatar would have to go in soft or it would count. If it went in hard, that's grounds for arrest.
Yeah.
But if it's soft, you clearly didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
I'm just
right.
gonna keep. Let's go. It's live.
I fucking forget. I don't remember.
All right,
what I was
let's
trying
go
to
on to the rest of the group.
so
I would
mad.
like to
I'm
know.
so angry.
So mad.
Next week, we're going to laugh at their expenses. They've been eliminated.
It's more FIFA's fault than it is Qatar's fault, is my point.
Well, fuck them both.
Surrounding the World Cup itself.
So let's continue with Group A. Holland looked desperately average. I skipped over the middle part because I want to come to that last. Holland looked desperately average. They really didn't deserve the 2-0 was flattering over Senegal because Senegal played them very, very well until
Senegal has
end
the
of match.
unfortunate situation of not having Sadio Mane.
Right. But they
They
still played
have
them.
they have a great spine to their team, but no one to finish their chances.
Yeah,
I
because
told
that
you
team-
Koulibaly was one of the best defenders in the world.
Yeah.
He just hasn't found his feet at Chelsea yet.
Yeah.
But he's been playing lights out so far this tournament.
And Drissa Gana Gay just running
100%.
runs that fucking team. You can just-
100%.
Like there's a reason why they are the African champions because they are really, really fucking good.
Absolutely.
And like I said, Holland has not looked great. If the United States can win, I fancy our chances against the Dutch because they haven't looked good. And I think if you play them the right way and kind of the way you beat Germany is by punching them in the face. I feel like if you play the Dutch in the elimination round, you give them a quick punch in the face. I don't know if they know how to react to that.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. That's for some reason haven't started Memphis Depay in either game yet.
And that
and he's probably their best striker, to be honest, at the moment.
That being said, the team that has been the gem of this group is Ecuador.
Yes.
Oh my God. The second youngest team in the World Cup, and they have looked fucking brilliant.
Absolutely.
Concedo, obviously he's very much impressed at Brighton. That man has already gotten himself a Big Six job.
Yeah.
Done.
If he wants it, yes.
Done. It's happening.
The other thing I would say about them, like people like Enner Valencia, like the team, the people in that team that are known, well known, maybe a stretch, but at least known,
Valencia's having a great cup.
working their fucking socks off. I mean, they're putting in a shift, and it's the whole team doing it. They're together, they're organized, they're young, but they're smart,
Enter Valencia is the reason why they're the second youngest team in the World Cup, not the youngest, because he's the old man at fucking 35.
But he's still doing it. He's still doing the business. He's putting his fucking life on the line out there. I mean, he's
three goals already.
Yeah.
3 goals. I would love for him to make it to the group stages, and he ends up winning the Golden Boot with like 6 goals.
Yeah,
that would be.
But by the
brilliant.
Look, by the 60th or 70th minute, he looks beat to shit. He is putting everything on the field.
This is his swan song. This is it.
It's beautiful. This is what it's about. This is the point, right?
Yeah.
It's this guy doing everything he can to up the chances of his country. What I will, real quickly, I wanted to make a point about Senegal. What I do like about the African nations now, that they're starting to do, we see a lot of this in the Caribbean too, is some of those players that may not be, because of European colonization and families moving abroad, some of those players that aren't necessarily quote unquote good enough, even though they are, to get into, say, the France squad or the English squad or Nigeria did it with Alex Iwobi. That, multiple teams have done it. Tyreek Lamptey.
Yeah.
Is it Ghana that he plays for? Yeah. Which no one's ever talked about his Ghanaian heritage. I didn't know that.
Right.
But born in Hackney, I think.
Right.
But they're doing a very good job now of scouting players with heritage from their country that can qualify for citizenship and persuading them to come back to represent the country of their parents, which will raise their profile again. And then when France comes calling for half of the 98 winning squad, right, who were Senegalese born, a lot of them over the last 2 World Cups, actually, that they won have been Senegalese born, which was a joke Trevor Noah made.
Yep.
Africa's never won a World Cup. He said, look at France's 2 wins.
Yeah.
Right,
exactly.
because of colonization. They're doing a very good job of getting those players back into the fold in the country of their parents that they qualify for citizenship for, which is Gabon with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Now they haven't made the World Cup, but he qualified for like 4 countries,
right?
Because of grandparents, and I mean it literally is the world's game now. I mean, these people move around like it's going out of style. They leave house at 12 years old to go play for a European academy, qualify for citizenship. Now all of a sudden they're playing for France. You're like, hey, wait a minute. You came up here,
or their dad plays in England and gives birth to a child. In England, and that child's English,
and they feel English, because that's how they're being raised.
Iwobi.
Exactly, but he decided to go back to Nigeria. So what they're doing is they're doing a very good job, much like we talked about Jamaica in the build up to the World Cup, recruiting those players that are kind of on the cusp and bringing them back into the fold into their teams and upping their profile and playing better. So we've seen the spines of these teams get a little bit stronger with players that have been playing day in, day out in the European academies and everything else. And that's only going to bode well for them in the future. And I'm going to say it here now, not that anybody's going to care or anybody's going to remember.
I think you might be saying something I was about to say, but go ahead.
Within the next 3 World Cups, we're going to see an African winner.
I was about to say that
whether it be here or 2030 or 2034, there will be an African winner of the World Cup.
Every single World Cup has been won by either Europe or South America.
Yep.
Right. And what I was going to say is, in our lifetime, we will see either an African nation with someone else in the world win, and be it Africa, CONCACAF, or Asia. And my bet would be Africa as well.
Absolutely.
I think that eventually there's going to be an African team that will win it. Well, I really do think so.
You look at just the generational racism of Europe in general and the European press. We talked about it on Lindsay's show briefly. Yeah. And if I may jump ahead to Switzerland, just to simply make this point, the Swiss never really do well in tournaments, but you never hear the turmoil around the squad either.
Right.
They're always solid. They're always together. They're always doing stuff. Where in Belgium, you have Kevin De Bruyne popping off and then Vertonghen popping off at the back. And Lukaku's had his issues with the press and this, that, and the other. the Belgians especially represent, and Switzerland's very similar of a country in that they don't really have an official language of the country. They have a German-speaking section and a French-speaking section.
Right.
The Belgians have a Dutch, a German, and a French-speaking section.
Right.
So they have three. They're very tribal. They're very apart. Romelu Lukaku has talked about it a lot, where he says, if I'd fail to score in 2 successive games, I am Congolese-born Belgian striker Romelu Lukaku.
Yeah.
But if I have a hat trick, I'm Belgian striker Romelu Lukaku.
Right.
And I think a lot of these African players are starting to go, you know what? You're not giving me the respect of I'm a citizen of this country. You're not giving me the respect of
Right.
being an American, of being a Belgian or a American or a whoever. Fuck you then. I'm going to go represent the country and my parents that care
Yep.
about me. And the Swiss, you just never hear that about for whatever reason. Now they can't produce a striker to save their lives, but the Swiss, you never hear that about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they seem to have a better group togetherness.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of these African countries are going to benefit from that as a much like the European countries have benefited from the colonization.
Mm-hmm.
I now think roles are starting to reverse, where the media and the press and the public haven't really caught up to the times, and they're starting to kind of ostracize these people.
Yeah.
They're going to start going back to the country of their parents, of their grandparents, and they're going to be much better and much more equipped to deal with the challenges of tournament football, and you will see an African winner.
And they're going to have
And I'm here for it. I hope that's the case.
I would love to see that. I would
And
love
I hope
to
they're
see
vocal about saying that. I grew up in France, or I grew up in Belgium, and I wanted to play for Belgium, but you guys are cunts. So I decided to go home and play.
How fucking
Guess who's the
cool
World Cup
would
winner?
it be to see Senegal or Cameroon or Nigeria?
Well, according to Samuel Eto'o, Cameroon still got a shot.
Yeah, but how cool would it fucking be to see that? It would
That'd be awesome.
Fucking awesome.
It'd be fucking great.
Absolutely awesome. And the fans are awesome. Like everybody talks about the Japanese fans who come and clean up after they're done and everything. Every single African nation that's there, they're playing instruments. They are dancing the
listen.
entire time in the stands. They're awesome.
Listen, let me tell you something. You ever seen a World Cup parade or a trophy parade with a zebra? No? I'd love it.
Yeah, it'd be
Yep,
awesome.
fucking get him in there. You know what? We got this hippopotamus on a fucking leash. We're doing it.
Doing it.
I'd love that'd be fucking awesome.
So cool.
It'd be brilliant with the party. It would just be amazing. I'd fucking love it. It'd be massive.
All right, we are 50 minutes in, and we've only talked about 2 groups, Cam. So we got to keep this.
But it's
thing
also
going.
long overdue.
Yes, agreed.
And a lot of that had to do with late stage colonialism, and that shouldn't be ignored either.
So Group
By
C,
the way.
Saudis pull off the upset of all fucking upsets, beating Argentina.
Yes, they did. I think the Argentinians were distracted by Javier Bernard.
He's such a good looking
He
man.
looks like Johnny Bravo. Do the monkey.
Damn, I'm pretty.
Do the monkey. Shirt unbuttoned down to here for the last 4 World Cups running, by the way. Didn't change the look, stuck with it.
Oh, man.
Love it.
And
flowing blonde
honestly,
hair, much like myself, just blonde.
Here's the
Mel, right?
Here's the thing with this group is because now, Argentina gets the win against Mexico.
Yes.
Mexico drew Poland. Poland beats Saudi Arabia. Like, somebody good's going home. Somebody good is going home.
All right there, Chief.
Yeah, he almost pulled a what fuck.
Oh, fuck. Should cool your breasticles. All right.
He was very excited. Mel, do you think you need to go check on him? And does he need to maybe go potty or something?
Well, I can't imagine you're going to go much longer.
Yeah, sure.
Now we'll be fine. We got it.
But in this situation, like seriously, somebody decent's going home.
For sure. Absolutely. I just hope it's not Javier Bernard.
I don't know if the Saudis can handle what Mexico does. Because when Mexico needs to ugly it up, no one uglies it up better than Mexico.
Yeah,
like
but
they are a masterclass at doing it.
That being said, remember the game against Argentina. Saudi Arabia hit them on the counter twice, very early in the second half. I think the second goal was scored about 55 minutes, so 10 minutes into the second half. And then in the span of, 18 or 23 minutes, something like that, got 6 yellows. All they did was break up the play.
Yeah.
And they shared the fouls around because there was no red.
Right.
So it was, I got this one. Bang. Yeah. And then the next time Argentina had a goal kick, my turn. boom,
Yeah.
and just hit somebody. And the whole time, Javier Renard was just doing one of these on the sidelines, and it was brilliant.
I can't help but think, unfortunately for Poland and Saudi Arabia, I can't help but think somehow the cream's going to rise to the top, and Argentina's going to figure out a way, and Mexico's going to figure out a way. But God, it would be fun to see Poland and Morocco make it through.
Absolutely, and I think
so
I think
great.
Poland actually do have a very good chance of getting through. I think they can muster a draw against Argentina.
Yeah, agreed.
And that would be enough to see Argentina through as well, I believe. So I think that might be the case. Argentina might be in this game to not lose this game,
Yeah, and I mean,
which would be huge.
well, and and remember last World Cup they lost to Croatia badly in the first game.
Yep.
And they figured out a way to get into the into the knockout stages. So
the
you
other
have to
thing-
assume they know how to do it.
Actually, Mel, I think all of our problems with Qatar and the LGBTQ plus community have come to an
Mispronouncing
end
it again.
because Javier Renard has been there now for more than a week. And there's got to be at least one Qatari man that goes, he's kind of hot.
I was waiting for the payoff.
All right, so moving on.
Did it pay off?
Sure.
Fuck you.
Moving on to
for quarter for Qatar.
Yeah, very
Quarter.
good. Quarter. Yeah, just fuck all of it.
You know what you can't do with another man in Qatar?
Yeah.
Quarter with him. That's another word for room. For those that don't know 1776 English, which was the last time we beat the English. Cunts.
Can't quarter with your girlfriend either.
You know how often the English have beat us in the World
Like how
Cup?
he just ignores us.
You know how often the English have beat us in the World Cup?
No.
They haven't, motherfucker.
America.
America.
America. Fuck yeah.
I'm actually very glad that Mark didn't come over to watch the match here because he would have been really bitter and I would have just laid into him and pissed him off. And then I'm not going to make the joke. France advance. Which, you know what? All things considered, good on them because normally the winner of the World Cup does not advance the next season, the next World Cup. They've looked good. They look damn good.
So since 1998, there's only been 2 teams now that have that have won the World Cup, then qualified from the group the next round.
Brazil and now France.
Brazil won it in 2002. Yes.
No, it was 98 and then lost it in 2002 to France, I think.
No, 2002 was Korea, Japan. They
Okay,
beat
sorry.
Germany in the final.
Oh, okay.
98, they lost to France in the
That
final.
was it. That was
and
it. Sorry.
France bombed out in 2002.
Yeah.
Brazil won it in 2002, qualified from their group in 2006.
Yes. Yeah, there we go.
Then lost.
Then lost,
in the
yeah.
quarters.
That was
I think
that was the one where Spain, because it was Holland who beat them,
correct.
uglied them up.
But since then, since that time, nobody has qualified.
one
No
until
World Cup
France.
winners qualified from the group until France this time.
And they look good. They look
Yep.
good. They look real good. Now the question is who's going with them? And is it? It's not going to be Tunisia. I mean, they could work their way in, but at the end of the day, it's Denmark versus France in the next game.
Yeah, I get worried. So it's going to be Australia and Denmark.
That's what I meant. Australia, Denmark. Yeah.
Australia are in the great position for them that they don't need to win.
Right.
All they have to do is draw. The Danes don't have a striker.
Right.
They have nobody to put the ball in the back of the net for real. They do have quite a few creative players and a staunch defense with a very couple of large Brentford Bees at the back.
I
think
Crystal Palace, Joachim Anderson, who scored against.
I think it may
France.
come down to a corner or a set piece and a 1-0
agreed.
Denmark win. But I would love to see the Aussies go through. Their fans are always a fucking party at these tournaments. They're always awesome. I would love to see Australia to go through, mainly because most of their squad plays in like League One
Yeah.
in England.
I like to think in all of this is right now there is a wonderful woman in the Barossa with the struggle of the fact that Denmark has literally all of Brentford's team on it,
That's right.
and yet she's Australian. Finally, let's chat about groups E, F, G, and H.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
It's the alphabet.
Alphabet is fun.
That
I
PG
also
County education.
I also like how you preempted, because we didn't write very much in terms of notes for this, but you preempted us running long by writing finally.
Yeah.
There is the intro for the segment.
Because we had to get this shit done. Japan shock in two ways. They shock Germany, and then they lose to, next to fuck Qatar, arguably the worst team in the World Cup in Costa Rica.
Yes.
Because Costa Rica limped their way into the CONCACAF. And if they were in any other qualifying stage, they wouldn't have qualified.
And they finally fell down in the first game against Spain. So it was 7-0 on it.
7-0. They got demolished.
It's terrible.
All Japan had to do, and here's the perfect example of if people want to be critical of a team like England or a team like Spain for drawing Germany, don't lose this game. Because
Yes.
if you lose this game, you fucked yourself.
Now you need a win or a draw.
Japan-
You need to get something.
Japan,
Yep.
well, and you need a draw and help.
Yep.
You fucked
Against
yourself.
the best team in the group.
Fucked yourself. You
Yep.
completely fucked yourself.
100%.
You did exactly what you needed to do, which was beat the team you were battling for with second place. And you did it in amazing fashion. And then you fucked off and lost to fucking Costa Rica.
Mm-hmm.
Just terrible. Spain's cruising. Spain looks
Did you see they
great.
left origami treats? Not treats. There's nothing.
Well, they
to
left
eat.
food too. They left. Food
Oh, they did
too.
leave food
They left
also?
Food, origami, all the towels.
They left the
folded.
origami. I do want to say the giant black origami one.
Mm-hmm.
That was huge. The big, were they cranes?
Yeah, they were like swans. Yeah.
Yeah. The big one, little presumptuous. Wait for the big one after Costa Rica. I think maybe it went to their head a little bit.
Yeah, might very well have. Worth mentioning Spain, Germany. That was a battle of heavyweights.
Very good game.
That
I
was-
thought back and forth. There could have been. Ferran Torres had that chance early on that really could have opened the game up, that he blasted over the bar for no reason at all.
Spain was a little conservative, but again,
I think Luis Enrique's daughter might break up with him after that.
don't lose. That was a
Yes.
don't lose situation for Spain.
Correct.
And Germany had to get it at the death.
And Spain did take the lead. I mean, it's not for lack of trying. They
Right.
did attempt to score a few times. They just couldn't find the cutting edge. And that is true. Ferran Torres does date Luis Enrique's daughter,
Yeah.
which is how some say he's ended up on penalties
Well, it
for
just,
Spain.
that was a very fun watch because it was, like I said, it was battle of heavyweights. There was maybe a total of 10 punches thrown, but all 10 of those punches hit square in the fucking face.
Yeah.
And they were like, you're like, ooh.
I still worry about where the goals are going to come from Germany. And that's not something you normally
Agreed.
say. They don't really have an out-and-out striker anymore. Even though Gnabry scores a ton of goals from the wing, Sané, we saw what he did at Manchester City, what he's done at Bayern Munich, scores a ton of goals from the wing. They just haven't looked like that for the national team. So where Mueller looks like he should be Belgian
Right.
by the old person standard. So what are they doing? What is Germany going to do to rectify that situation? Luckily for them, they're playing the worst team in the group.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
I mean, even with arguably one of the greatest keepers of all time in Keylor Navas, they're playing the worst team in the group. And
Overall, and
Yeah.
Keylor Navas himself is quite old now as well. I mean, he's had a long, illustrious career, and he's good, and he, you know what, deserves his own swan song,
Yeah.
deserves his testimonial,
Yeah.
and he's getting it. But it's coming at the wrong time for
Yeah.
a team that, you know, they need something else, and they just as a squad just don't have it.
Germany's a team, whatever group they're going to face. Like, if I won that group, I want to face Germany.
Yeah,
I
hands
want
down.
to face Germany in the knockout stages. It's unfortunate because I think Japan is the more deserving team to go to the knockouts, but it's going to be Germany just because of who they're facing.
Yep.
Now, moving on to Group F. Canada swung. They swung big. They missed, but they swung big. And
Because
at
they don't
least-
play baseball there.
At least they can. They have a
Stupid.
professional baseball team.
One,
Yes, but they have a professional baseball team.
and they're not good.
They were in the playoffs this last year.
Yeah, but everybody makes the MLB playoffs, don't they?
That's true anymore.
I mean, the Nats won a World Series, for Christ's sake.
You know, you can go out knowing that you went out on your own terms.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they did what they were supposed to do, 100%.
And frankly, they wwere better than Belgium. They had 22 shots.
Oh, yeah.
Belgium had like
4 of them were
9.
on target. But
Yeah, 22 to 9. Right? Like,
9.
right? Just, oh my God. Like, they swung big, but they missed. They missed.
Yeah. I mean, I
don't
have full
discredit 'em.
respect. I mean, Canada embodied going hard or going home.
Go.
It's the only thing that you can learn from being America's hat.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing for Canada's also going to be one of the host nations in the next World Cup.
Absolutely. So they've already qualified.
Go to this World Cup, swing big, learn lessons.
Yep.
And now when you're going to play
time to
matches
take
in
the next step.
your country, you know what to do.
100%.
You'll be all right. So there should be a little bit of snaps and congratulations to them, even though they're going out quickly. There's something far more impressive about their exit than fuck Qatar's exit.
Yeah, no, 100%. I can respect the team going down swinging.
Yeah.
100%. I'm fully with that. And I respect our North American brethren for what they did.
Belgium look old.
Oh, yeah, big time. Big time
don't
old.
Look good.
I like the fight between the offense and defense
Yes.
in the
Yes.
press.
In the press. In the press.
Where Kevin De Bruyne has said that our back line doesn't like to run because they're too old, it seems. And then Jan Vertonghen, I think it was, quipped back and said, we've only scored 1 goal so far, so how old is our attack?
Yeah.
Which is quite
Flemish
good.
gonna Flemish.
Yeah. Don't start Leandro Trossard by any means because he's young and in form.
Yeah, and he's come on and played well. Or the one guy in the midfield, Unana, who's been all over the pitch.
Everywhere.
Don't sub him out every 60th minute. Oh, and we were talking about someone.
Well, the first game he subbed on.
We were
He
talking-
didn't even start.
We were talking about Concedo getting like an upgrade. A guy who's going to be a free agent who has not performed all that well is Yuri Tillemans.
Yep.
This was supposed to be the paycheck fucking for him.
Well, I think part of it, he made that fantastic run against Canada in the first game, 7 minutes in or whatever it was. Kevin De Bruyne tried to thread the needle between two players to find Batshuayi or Hazard, whoever it was running down the left. Just made the wrong decision. And this was supposed to be the best creative midfielder in the world.
Yeah.
And that, by the way, Tillemans had everything else played out the way it was supposed to. Kevin De Bruyne played to Tillemans. Tillemans scored. I had a 6-way parlay on that game alone.
Oh, wow.
Over 1.5 goals. They only won 1-0. Like I said, had everything else played out the way it did.
Would have hit that bet.
Kevin De Bruyne passing to Tillemans would have hit my bet because the other thing that didn't hit was Kevin De Bruyne to score or assist.
Wow.
At any time. And that pass, 7 minutes in a game, I said, I just lit $10 on fire.
So, one of the things we should mention is players that are really impressing that should get an opportunity in the Prem. There's this guy from Morocco, Haim Ziyech. Oh, wait, he plays for Chelsea.
Plays for Chelsea. You should know his name by now. Oh, but you might not because Thomas Tuchel never played him.
He has looked fucking incredible.
Because he's so rested. He hasn't played football in 18 months.
It was literally Haim Ziyech bossing Belgium for the win. Oh, no. Wrong thing, baby. No. Thought you need to pee. You're dancing like you need to pee.
Oh, I do need to pee.
Then that was me going go pee.
I can wait.
Group G. Next group is when I'm going to fucking ask for that fucking shit. We'll edit it all out.
Hashtag live production.
Hi, live production. You get to see this. Me not understanding my wife. Shocker. I'm a man. Shocker. She's a woman and speaks in code.
Now you all
I'm
know.
not speaking at all. I'm having leg spasms and I'm trying to deal with it.
Thought you needed
and
to go to the
then
bathroom.
You told me I had a sound cue and we're up to Brazil and you talked about.
Did I say the word Brazil?
We're still
Did I say-
on stream.
Yeah, I know.
Let's get back
Oh,
to
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, look at Sam driving the bus.
Hey,
And-
marriage counselor A, right
On your
here.
mark, get set.
Ziyech completely dominates Belgium.
100%.
I mean, he owned owned
Yeah,
them.
but again, he's rested and was 27.
Yeah, true.
The average age of Belgium's backline, I think, is 34.
I have to say, I mean, they're gonna blaze out, and the one job Roberto Martinez has to do is manage the egos, and the one thing he hasn't done is manage the egos.
I mean, it is a shame that Lukaku wasn't fit for these two games. I think Belgium may still go through if Lukaku can find his fitness for this third game.
He did play in the second game. He did come in as a sub.
Right. Okay. So there you go. So third game in, he should probably start in place of Batshuayi.
Yeah.
And really, if you want my opinion, they should change their style. Not that Martinez has that in his locker, but they should play a 4-3-3.
Yeah, but Belgium has to play Croatia, and I think Croatia's not going to step down.
Yeah, but Croatia also doesn't have a forward.
Yeah.
But if you play two up front to occupy their center backs, I think you allow Trossard and De Bruyne to run the show. And same thing I said with the U.S. You say on Lindsay's pod.
Yeah.
You separate the attack and defense, and you go, you five go make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Us five will worry about defending. Us six, the goalkeeper obviously there, but outfield players, you five go fucking do it. Us five will sit back here. You know what I'm saying? And that is the only chance that they have. You put Batshuayi and Lukaku on the field at the same time. You got Trossard, De Bruyne, and either Eden Hazard or Torgan Hazard, and you let them fucking run rampant up front, and the five of you only focus on keeping the ball in that half of the field.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
You know what I'm saying? I think we do that same thing against Iran. We have a good chance because Iran are quite defensive.
Right. I agree.
That's
Agreed.
No,
So
all right.
I agree.
It's just not fun when you agree. We're supposed to hate each other.
No, fight me more.
Now
Get up and hit me again.
I will say I'm now actively rooting for Belgium to go out and Morocco
That's
to
a category.
advance. I would love to see Morocco advance, to be honest, because I feel like they fucking earned it.
I do
Earned
too.
it. They've absolutely earned it. So.
And as we'll come on here shortly, we don't want to necessarily have the Ghanaians this go around being the only African flag bearers.
Very good. Very fair. So Group G, Brazil has been cruising, absolutely cruising. Now, the rest of the group is up for grabs, and we'd love to see anybody else win it. But, Sammy, why is it going to be Switzerland?
Because they are hard-nosed, ready to rock, and they will make it happen.
I would debate they are white people taco night.
Taco night. We're getting
They are the blandest, most neutral. I'm going to ask for the manager team I've ever met in my life. They are. They make it to every knockout.
Ortega sauce.
They make it to every single knockout round, and we all go, huh, the Swiss are there.
And then they promptly get eliminated.
And just
in
go,
either the round of 16 or the quarters every tournament.
and they do it somehow. They somehow do it by going 1-1-1 with a 1-0 win, a 0-0 draw, and a 1-0 loss.
Neutral.
Yes, so neutral.
Neutral.
White people taco night.
But the only grizzly bear that lives in Europe, Jan Sumner, to the Mexican grizzly bear, Guillermo Ochoa,
Right.
who I don't know either of their club teams. They just hibernate for 4 years as far as I'm concerned and then show up for the World Cup and have a fucking world day
Yes.
every time. Just
And that's all
without
they do.
fail. Yeah. And that's all they do. That's why they both still look like they're 12 years old because they don't do anything for 4 years except take care of themselves and then show up for the World Cup.
I really want Serbia to advance, but they're not because
Switzerland.
Switzerland's going to draw them 0-0. That's what's going to happen.
They're just hard like granite.
Yeah, I heard. Go ahead, make it all about Arsenal.
Damn straight, baby.
Oh,
Vice captain correct over there. Former captain, vice captain, champion.
final group. Portugal today advance. Or should we call them soft penalty FC?
Yeah.
God, they love getting soft penalties. That first one to Ronaldo was not a penalty. They barely touched him. And
No.
he goes, and then the other one, like Uruguay made a good point. Like the defender's sitting there going like, How am I supposed to fall? He was falling, and it's simply he's putting his arm down because he's falling. Like, your arm is naturally going to do that. Yes, was it in the way of the ball? Absolutely. But it's unnatural position. He's falling.
The question,
He's falling.
The problem is for me, and this is where I think they've overcomplicated this rule a ton. My issue is, did they gain an advantage from the ball hitting the hand? Back
Yes.
in my day,
Yeah.
sound old man about it. I don't know with the lighting we have here if my grays show through.
Well, there's enough gray
Okay.
showing through. Fear not,
But-
they're stud.
Back in my day, okay, I meant on the stream, not to you cunts. Back in my day, you had to gain an advantage from the handball. So if you kick the ball at me as far apart as we are now, fuck off. I have no chance to get it out of the way.
Right.
It's not fair, right? If I was falling and just to hit it, okay, well,
But it was also this close with the fall. It was where he fell. The ball's
well,
gonna be
exactly, yeah.
so
So it
close.
should just be. It should be. I mean, yes. Did he gain an advantage? Yes, probably accurate. But again, did I have anything else to? What else was I supposed to do?
Right.
Explain to me the unnatural position I was in.
Right.
What naturally was I supposed to do in that situation then, if you want to overcomplicate it and use all those words? Because I would argue as I'm running, this is natural.
Right.
So if something hits me, right, defending unnaturally is this. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Arms behind my back while I'm trying to move athletically is not natural.
Right. Yeah.
Do you feel me? That's where it got gummied up.
Yeah. Here's the
Did you gain an advantage from the handball?
Here's
Period.
the one thing I would say of
Penalty.
You're right.
And in this vein, penalty. I'm in that. I'm with it
Right.
because all this natural, unnatural. It was, his arm was in an unnatural position. Well, then why can I do this?
Right. The
This
guy,
is completely natural. Look at me. This doesn't hurt.
For me, the defender was falling to the ground, and his arm's got to. Your arm is naturally going to try. You're not just going to fall on your back. You're not just going to fall on your ass. You're not just going to fall backwards. Your arms are naturally going to. That's instinctual. You're going to defend your body, right? And that is exactly what happened there. And I think it was a soft penalty.
Well, it's just I'm not necessarily disagreeing it's soft penalty. What I want to see is consistency, and we just don't. We just don't.
Nope.
I mean, the last World Cup final, the handball that went out that they called a corner instead of a.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been a
penalty.
It shouldn't have been a handball, but it should have been a corner. But the only
Based on VAR and the rule that
the
they
only thing you could say
implemented,
is either it's a goal kick or it's a handball.
and they did neither and split the difference.
Right, it made it a handball.
But that's not part of the rules.
Right.
So what I want to see is some consistency. So what I'm saying is bring back the very straight and narrow. Did you gain an advantage from the use of the hand? So if I'm standing by myself, right, and I go to trap the ball and it hits my bicep and I'm over in the corner off a goal kick and no one's within 25 yards of me, fucking let it play. Let me play. Who cares? I didn't gain an advantage from that. I was probably going to trap it anyway. As long as I don't catch it and lay it down, leave me alone.
yeah, but Sammy, you see what they have now are 3D images to show you exactly how much somebody
Where did
was
this come from,
offside.
by the way? That's what I want to know.
You gotta
Where
keep
the
this
fuck?
going.
Where the fuck is that in England?
So Sam, we know Portugal is advanced, and
Too much fog. They can't use.
Yeah, exactly. The most unconvincing of the sides to advance, by the way, I would say. I could see them going out.
I thought
easily.
Portugal's first round of the group stage game was the best
And
because it was so much fun.
yes,
There was
Well, and
shit
that's-
football all over the pitch. There was a lot of giving a ball away. There was a lot of just nasty crap it was brilliant.
That's exactly what I was going to
For
get
the
to.
neutral,
is-
it was so much fun.
Is that Portugal's defense isn't very fucking good.
No, and the Ghanaian that did the hide in the goal thing, it fucking worked at the World Cup.
I know.
I love it.
Great.
And the goalkeeper just laid the ball down. It's such a shame that he slipped.
So South Korea is on the edge of elimination. Essentially, all three teams, South Korea, Uruguay, and Ghana, all have a chance to advance. And Ghana is who we're all kind of really rooting for, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you know what the problem is, Sam? It's gonna be Batman.
Yeah. No, it's not going to be better.
Hold on. How did Gareth? I almost said Gareth Bale. How did Christian Bale do it? Was it
Was it more raspy?
There's a little voice like this.
It was a bit more raspy.
I'm afraid of snakes.
For some reason, the children say it'll be South Korea.
So that's the problem is that's where you're wrong because we're all rooting for Ghana and it's going to end up being the teething, cheating, racist, and Luis Suarez in Uruguay, right? We know somehow it's going to be Uruguay, right? Despite the fact that they don't deserve it, despite the fact that they're an aging team, despite the fact that like Luis Suarez is awful, and I've got my own little rant that I need to go on about Luis Suarez.
That's
so
fine.
I kind of want to be quick about this.
Quickly, I'll make the point that after what happened in 2010, was it 2010, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happened in 2010, I think Ghana's going to have a chip on their shoulder in this game, and I think they're going to go after it and exercise those demons that
I really hope so.
that Luis Suarez
Yeah.
injected through his tiger fangs.
Well, no, that
into
one was
them.
the handball.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But it's just a medium of deliverance. Don't
Okay.
get caught up in the details.
Got it.
I'm
Well,
just-
Italy experiences.
It's a
Tiger
fucking
fangs.
joke just to tie it all together, Sam. Leave it be. I know what it was. Also, by the way, best save of that tournament. The idea definitely wasn't Rob Green in that tournament,
no,
was it?
He, had ooh, he missed that one badly.
Hashtag Vance. The
That's
idea
a dig all of England.
called soccer, bitch. The idea is, JK, I actually call it football. My point is I think Ghana's going to want to exercise those demons. I actually picked them in our World Cup pool as bottom of the group, Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
The reason was their very poor showing at the African Cup of Nations and only having, I think it was 3 friendlies between that tournament ending in January and this World Cup beginning. And that's a fucking problem.
But they've looked good.
The first
Played
game,
well.
they really didn't. I mean, they were equally as poor as Portugal. But that second game, they were actually holding on.
Yeah.
Just they were 2-0 up. They let that lead slip. Got the third goal and then clinged on
Yeah.
to that win. I'm hoping they're growing into it. And Uruguay looks like the South American retirement home that Belgium is to Europe.
Yeah.
So hopefully Ghana can get it together. There's a lot of new faces in that squad, and this truncated buildup that's been so short and everything. I get concerned that they may screw this up again because they're young. It may be too early in the cycle, but we'll see what their guile is when they come out in the next few days.
So we talk about fuck Qatar, and we've also mentioned fuck Fox because they're terrible. The very first match for Uruguay was against South Korea, and every single one of the pundits talked about how gutsy and how he'll do anything for his country Luis Suarez is. And here is my thing. He's bitten 2 players. The handball thing you can get away with, okay? You know what? Great. You're trying to keep your team in it.
Wait, he's
And
bitten 2 players?
Yep.
one in a World Cup and one while
In the league while playing
in
for
the league.
Ajax
Yeah.
in Holland.
I mean, if
And
that was a dog, they'd be sent to the. Never mind.
and he has also made racist remarks while in the Premier League with Liverpool as
To Patrice Evra?
Yep,
Or was that
and
was that John Terry?
It was.
I can't
it was
remember.
Patrice Evra, and he hit him with the hard R.
Not cool.
And he's a disgrace of a player, in my opinion. He may be a very talented player. I'm not just debating his talent, and I'm not debating that he's an excellent goal scorer. But as far as I'm concerned, he is a disgrace of a player. And I'm sitting there listening to all of them making these excuses of how he'll do anything for his team. Or if he wasn't a goal scorer, would they be saying the same fucking thing? My answer is no, they fucking wouldn't be.
So the Uruguayans, who?
This was Fox.
Oh,
the,
Fox. Yeah, no, he's a
lawless-
no.
Fuck-
I told you,
mean,
Fox or
Carly Lloyd. All of them were defending his ass, and not one of them went. He's bitten 2 people and has been racially abusive on the fucking pitch. Fuck that asshole.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
because he scores goals and because he's one of the more popular players in modern history, it's Well,
So-
he's willing to do anything for his country.
Well, a lot.
Fuck you.
So here's the thing. In South America, there's a very strong footballing culture of conning the referee. Getting one over on the ref is just as good as scoring a goal. Is just as good as.
It's about getting the win, but
It's a CONCACAF thing too.
oh,
for real.
absolutely.
If the ref doesn't see it, it doesn't exist.
Again, remember USA against El Salvador. We had 2 players bit and one get a fucking titty twister.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
In one match. In one
match,
fucking
right.
match.
But that's what I'm saying. So it's revered there as part of their footballing culture. In a lot of South American countries, is conning the ref is as good as scoring a goal. It's part of the game. The most famous, besides Pele's bicycle kick, the most famous South American goal at the World Cup ever was a fucking punch. Mm-hmm. Yeah? And it's on their fucking currency in Argentina.
Okay, so that's...
Peter Shilton, 60 years later, still isn't over it.
Okay, well
So
then
my point is...
But their culture...
Now, Fox is different. Fox is taking a fucking global approach or whatever it's called to this issue. It's cheating.
Yeah.
It plain and simply is cheating. All of the... Qatar's actually done a pretty good job. Yeah, but they cheated to get it.
I was just about
And
to-
fuck all the human rights shit. They cheated to get it in the first place. You shouldn't be doing it. As journalists, watching those Danes get shut down, you shouldn't be buying into it.
Okay, great. Then in Uruguay, if that's the culture and that's perfectly acceptable, then I guess it's okay for fuck Qatar to hate gay people because it's cultural.
I didn't say that. What I said was I said a footballing culture on the pitch, a bit different. Getting one over on the referee is not even your opponent. It's getting one over on the ref is as good as scoring a goal. Biting people, probably a little different. The handball, which is what we initially talked about because it actually happened against Ghana, the handball would have been celebrated as if Luis Suarez scored a goal.
That is fine, but biting 2 people and using racial fucking
it's
slurs,
fucked up. No, I'm not saying it did the right thing.
And fuck fucking Fox for fucking being like, oh yeah,
I agree
he's
with
a
you.
Gamer. Fuck you.
I agree with you. Fox is
found a
buying
weird
into
way to agree with
Fox
me.
is buying into the fucking bullshit. Yeah, no, I agree. It's fucked up. I agree. No, it's totally fucked up.
And one final thought. Thank goodness.
But yes, it is different than hating gay people.
Thank goodness for fuck Fox because they're so bad at their job that most normal networks, if an invader runs onto the pitch, they make sure to not have the camera on them. Definitely twice the invader on the pitch in the Portugal-Uruguay match at the World Cup in fuck Qatar
Got all the attention.
was running around with a rainbow flag. Fuck Qatar.
Sure money.
That's fucking brilliant.
Not just a rainbow flag. Had save Ukraine on the front and respect Iranian women on the back. Like he's
They
like,
were going
if
for
I'm-
all the
He's like, if
punches.
I'm doing this, I'm hitting everything.
He had all that on one flag?
No.
As they're going down. And another thing, and I got this to say, and fuck you, and
Oh, so he had Save Ukraine on the shirt,
And then, respect Iranian women on the
on the
back.
shirt, and then a rainbow flag in the hand.
Yeah.
Got it.
Another
Okay, I
thing-
thought it was all written on the flag. I wouldn't know what causes support. What do I do?
And another thing, and you motherfucker, I got this.
It's like, sir, this is a team sport. You need 2 people following you. You got too much going on right there. Okay.
Mel brought up a very funny point. Of
That's brilliant. No, I like that it was separated between different articles of
Oh,
clothing.
yeah,
I like
he had
that. That's
3
better.
points and 3 focal areas.
Good. The way he described it, I thought it was all on one flag.
No.
And I was like, how can I read this with all those colors there? It's very difficult.
So the
No good.
Mel had brought up a point before we get into Sure Money that she had asked me. She goes, "What about the oil people in England? Would they come out to the World Cup?" I'm like, "Yeah,
They're probably the ones allowed to drink alcohol in the stadium.
No. You know the
No,
ones
the stop
zip-
oil.
the zip
Oh,
tie.
The zip tie, the
and
soup on
the-
the paintings.
Right, the paintings and the dumping milk on the floors at the grocery stores and all that kind of shit. Like,
Why would you dump milk on the floor?
It was. I don't
know the
remember,
milk
but it
thing.
was that group. It was.
Seems
that
like
group.
an odd.
I'm
Yeah,
just
you know what? They're dumping soup in the Mona Lisa.
dumbasses. I'm
and
trying
milk in the Kroger.
trying to continue the show, and it was an example of shit that they did. The point is as I told her, they wouldn't dare go to Qatar because they know, and if they are fuck Qatar, or fuck Qatar as their proper name is, they know get home they probably die if they tried to pull that shit at a World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, it could
I
be.
hope they do try to pull some shit. Like I enjoy that runner. God, everyone's gonna be following up to make sure that guy gets out alive. But that was gutsy and appreciated, and he had good messages.
All right, Mr. Graham, your segment, please introduce your segment.
So this is Sure Money, obviously, where
He's still writing out his bet, isn't he? Do you just want to throw it to me?
no, this is where we make bets to better inform you of your bets. And what we do is surefire, sure hit, guaranteed win. And if you can't sense the sarcasm in that is your problem. We are not responsible for your poor decisions.
Especially because we make our betting decisions in 30 seconds while introducing the segment.
I already put money on this. I just couldn't remember what the odds were.
Heard. Very good.
And I put my real money on it,
All right.
by the way.
How'd you do?
No, I lost the first one. It was bad.
You just had one big parlay, right?
I had a 4-game parlay,
Yeah.
and it got fucked. So that happened. So now I'm down $100 for the World Cup.
Very
Because
good.
this is not going into our Premier League bets.
This is just, well, good news. I missed both of mine, so you're ahead of me.
Good. So this is just the World Cup, as we said. We have put a shot of Malort on the line for the loser of the World Cup betting by itself.
Yes.
There's still, for the Premier League betting, which is suspended for the moment, there's still the 4 shots for the season up for grabs. Mm-hmm. Okay? So, microcosm, here we go. I'm down 100. Sam, what did you have previously?
I missed both because I had Senegal to beat Holland, which they did not, and I had Weston McKennie to score at any time against Wales, and he did not. So I am down $200.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
0% of the time, Graham. It works 100% of the time.
It doesn't work.
That's just sad.
I am taking a same game parlay. I'm going to have England to beat Wales with Saka to score at plus 233.
Golden Boot Saka, say his name right.
There you go. Heard. Very good. Pro Arsenal agenda, Graham.
Come on.
And then I'm going to follow that up with a Group C 2-game parlay. I'm going to take Mexico and Argentina to win, which have both of them advancing to the knockout stage at plus 142.
Okay. Now, we had to start a little bit late. So our friend Pat isn't with us, but I've got his email, so...
And now, it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
Quote, well, I had a hell of a week, and I'm up 335 in our World Cup betting.
Go get it, Pat! Shit!
Sucks.
Beating
I've
the
only
chicken.
taken 1 shot of Malort this season. Damn it. Thanks to our boys for pulling out a draw against England. Could have very well been a win. So this week, I'm feeling confident, and that always makes for good bets. I'm taking a bet a day again for $100. First on Tuesday. Gotta keep taking my boys. The USA over Iran at minus 105. Wednesday, taking a 3-game parlay. France, Argentina, and Mexico. That would pay out $320. Thursday, I'm going to take Japan over Spain at plus 750.
That's going to be a miss.
Big upset there, though.
Yeah, but the other ones will win big for him. I think.
Yeah.
I think that 3-game parlay hits.
It could. And Friday, I'll take a 2-way parlay, Portugal and Uruguay, that pays out at 175. So that'll be
not
an
a bad
interesting bit for him. So what I've got is a all-day Tuesday parlay.
Go for it.
Well, not all day. I just did 2 games of the 4.
Then it's not all day.
I know. Thank
Why
you.
don't you call it all day?
Well, I started to call it all day. I did call it all day, didn't I?
Yeah, you
Because
did.
all tournament so far, there's been 4 games a day.
You
There's
You are one to point out
Just
my
fuck off.
mistakes. I just want to point out yours.
I have Ecuador winning, the Netherlands winning, the U.S. winning, and England winning. That banks me plus 725.
That is all 4 games. You said it was only 2 games.
Doesn't Ecuador play the Netherlands?
No.
No, they don't. You're right. Yeah, it is all 4 games, you cunt. I was correct.
You clearly don't know how to have any confidence to speak or get your point across.
My point was across. You made me doubt myself. Ecuador to win, the Netherlands to win, the U.S. to win, and England to win at plus 725 for my all-day Tuesday parlay. I also have to actually finish out Pat's email real quick because we have a little pool talk. Okay? We had a World Cup pool with some of our listenership. Thank you all, everyone that joined. That was fantastic. After Friday's matches, the pool will be up for everyone to pick their bracket for the rest of the tournament. You'll have until Saturday morning. The first match is at 10 a.m.
Get Friday. Do your immediately.
You have to do your shit on Friday. Get it done. You'll have about 18 hours to get it submitted. But once the first match kicks off, your picks lock for the rest of the tournament. Don't screw it up. No refunds, again. If you do not pick your brackets by the beginning of the first match, you will forfeit in the pool. We'll send out reminders. I don't want anyone, speaking kind of brazenly there, I'm going to send out reminders, not we. I don't want anyone to miss out.
Yeah, but Sam, what if I don't get my picks in time? Can I put them in later?
No, sorry. Thanks for your $10 or $20 donation, sir. Even if you're in the bottom
Sam,
right now, the points get bigger the farther your picks go, so everyone is still in line for the money. You guys have a great week, and let's go USA. Closes out Pat's email. Just had to get that little reminder in on the show. Going to happen again on Injury Time, and I'm going to post about it at least 3 times in DUFC.
You know what my power is, Sam?
No, I don't.
And why you're
Still
my
haven't seen it after 5 years.
And why you're my wife? My ability to make you doubt yourself. But you know what's even better than that? A chicken.
Well, Kitty wasn't safe to the upset bug in her beating either. She say Denmark draw.
Oh, sorry. I mistyped.
She say Denmark draw.
She had Denmark draw.
She had a Denmark draw and Germany lose to Japan, but the England victory did get Kitty to 1-2. So Kitty is taking 3 matches again. First, she's sticking with her ties to England, and she sees them beating Wales.
Very good.
Next, she's taking France to beat Tanzania, and I'm not sure if you know this.
Tunisia.
That's what I said. Not sure if you knew this, boys, but Kitty speaks French.
No shit.
Yes.
Maybe you should talk to Kitty sometime, Sam. You speak a little French.
She
Merde. That's no shit.
Yeah.
Finally, Kitty, much like the guy, she loves herself some Richarlison. So it looks like she's also going to picking Brazil to beat Cameroon.
Very good.
Samuel Eto's so mad right now.
So mad.
Yeah.
This is one of the
Good thing Samuel Eto'o doesn't know where I live.
one of the weirdest predictions pre-World Cup, I think.
He had
Cameroon winning the whole damn thing.
He also had fuck Cutter making it to the second round.
I got nothing to press.
Well,
Yeah, there's no
but what else should we do?
I mean, obviously gamble legally and responsibly.
Excellent.
Yeah,
All
well,
right.
fucking hit a button. Do something.
no,
Just
there's
push a
no
button.
This show would be better with less F words.
Good.
We used.
I feel like we needed a break. We're in fucking, this is a routine. We needed to hear something.
Maddie, we did that in the guest appearance we did earlier today. We used less F words.
Go listen to that show.
Didn't bring to the game not just the basics of football, I believe the basics of life.
I mean, that's Cutter in a nutshell.
Again,
They haven't brought the basics of football, and the basics of life have been ignored. So
you're mispronouncing their name. It's
Fuck Cutter.
Fuck
Cutter. Fuck Qatar. Fuck Qatar.
It's gonna wrap it up, boys and girls. Sammy, any parting words?
Fuck Qatar.
Yeah, I mean that pretty much states it all.
I have parting words.
Oh yeah, we never got to the Serbia thing. Go ahead.
Y'all have missed this entire opportunity to call it Cuntar.
Oh, we could have called it
Fuck.
Qatar.
How did we fuck that up?
Qatar was right there. in
We're
front of you
usually very
this
in
entire
tune
time.
with
Just
ways
saying.
to fit content to the show.
Yeah. Sammy,
That's why Mel's here.
Sammy, I got one for you. Mel can chime in on this as well. Hey, Mel, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes.
So Serbia,
She muted herself because she didn't want to hear everyone laughing at my joke there.
So Serbia in the locker room before the match against Brazil apparently had something about like never surrender Kosovo, which is a territory that they feel they should occupy, but FIFA sanctioned them because, that's a fucked up wrong thing to say, right? Not cool. I mean, I'm glad to see that that's the moral high ground that FIFA finally decided to stand on, because the rest of the time it's you should respect their culture. You should.
Well, guess what Serbia does? Guess what Serbia doesn't have? An envelope full of money.
Yeah, it's exactly it. It's exactly
That's
it.
what I'm saying. It is. Qatar should be held accountable for what they believe, I guess is the right word.
Right.
As a state. They should
be
be held accountable. Don't patronize the country. Don't sell advertising. Don't buy oil. Don't do this, that, the other. Don't look at Al Jazeera. Don't subscribe to any of their publications. Ultimately, surrounding this World Cup, the responsibility resides with FIFA, and they fucked it.
Right.
I hope that Budweiser, after this has all been said and done, gets to look at FIFA for the.
They've
next
already
one.
asked for it. Have you seen that?
For the next, no. But how much money do they ask for?
They want their sponsorship to be fully integrated for less than half price.
Good.
I think it was $100 million was this go around.
Yeah.
I think they asked for $42 million is going to be their cut, but they want their full shebang that they normally get for $100 million.
Yeah.
Discount. I have a correction to make.
Oh, please do.
Possibly. You had said earlier that the flag that was tweeted out was doctored.
Possibly.
The Iranian doctored flag.
It's not. The U.S. men's coach team and players have come out and distancing themselves. They had nothing to do with them. But we have a spokesperson, quote, "The intent of the post was show support for women's rights," said Michael Cameron, a U.S. soccer spokesperson at a news conference Monday. Quote, "It was meant to be a moment. We made the post at the time. All other representations of the flags were made consistent and will continue."
Okay. So it was one person who did it, who probably won't have a social media job much longer.
Yeah.
For them.
Yeah.
Well,
not for them.
Again, stand up for something or you fall for nothing.
Yep.
Or fall for everything. What is it? Doesn't matter. It's the same thing.
You
Stand
fell
up for
it.
something or you're going to fall. Period.
You stand on something.
All right, kids, we've gone well over an hour and a half. It's time to fucking call it a night. We got to do
Never mind.
injury time, which is next up. And injury time is where we're going to go over the beers we've been drinking.
Yes.
We're going to actually make a quick, brief update about fantasy because somebody finally got in trouble for their name and only took them half the season to figure that the fuck out. And so I made a new name, which is really fucking funny. And then Taylor made a solidarity name, which is even funnier. And we're also going to check in with Aki because Aki actually has played since the World Cup has started. And if somebody wanted to find injury time, Sam, we're also going to talk about the FA Cup draw that happened today. So if somebody wanted to find injury time, Sam, how would they go about doing it?
Very easy. If you want to follow somebody that supports gay rights, supports women's rights, supports the right to drink, supports freedom, supports fucking America, it is patreon.com/DU Football Show for all of your footballing free thought needs, and you don't have to worry about a goddamn motherfucking thing about getting arrested by the morality police because we don't have any morals. See you soon. Good night.
It was really good.
Pretty fucking concise, isn't it?
But she's muted. Till next week, everybody.
She was doing something nice for once.